I'd like to talk about tools you can use to help plan and create a good life for your loved one, integrating supports and having a vision for the future. These are called life course tools from the Charting the Life Course framework. Informing Families believes living a full life involves so much more than services and systems. It's about relationships, community, and growing throughout all stages of life. Rather than view a person with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities as wrapped in services, we see the potential of individuals rooted in community resources and supports. Services are an important part of that vision, but they are not the sole focus. The folder seen here was originally developed in Missouri to connect families with needed information and supports. Informing Families of Washington has adapted the folder to provide Washington-specific resources for families. The folders and framework now provide quality information, support, and assistance to navigate a full life. This slide shows that a services-only model often leads to a labeled life, a dependent life, a life of isolation, a life of poverty, and it is often deficit-based. That's not the kind of life I have signed up for, nor want for my loved one. Most people want this kind of life, a meaningful life, a full life, a good life, which may include a home, relationships, friends, savings, education, health, things to do, and choices. Another visual to see this concept defined is this one. In the first circle on the left, a person is part of a family and a community. In the second circle, with the best intentions, added services often separate the person from their family and community. For example, before I understood how to have a caregiver in our home for my child, the caregiver would come and I would hide out in my room. But then we incorporated the caregiver to help our daughter participate with the family as a whole, and I got to feel like a mother and not just a caregiver myself. In the last diagram on the right, we see important services and supports as little stars that are there to help the person live within their family and community and not separate them. Life course tools can help articulate needs and wants of individuals and families and how to obtain them or make them happen. It also helps people understand what they do not want. The core belief of the Life Course framework is that all people have the right to live, love, work, play, and pursue their life aspirations just as others do in their community. In this diagram, the principles are drawn out to show how integrated supports and services are available to support positive life trajectories across the lifespan, shown by the circles on the bottom. The circle on the right represents a good full life supported by integrated services and supports, and I will show you some tools that will help you do this. These are the key principles of the Life Course framework. They include focusing on all people, recognizing the person in context of their family, trajectory of life experiences across the lifespan, achieving life outcomes, life domains, 3 buckets of need, the integrated support star, and transformational policy and systems change. You can find these on lifecoursentools.com. I will show some examples of these below. To understand the idea of integrating supports beyond the services only model, I'll offer this example of the principles of focusing on all. Looking at the triangle on the left, this example is in the field of public health, which has worked to solve the problem related to the spread of infectious diseases like the flu, using many different strategies and ideas. We know that if everyone contracted the flu, the medical system would not be able to treat everyone who came to the hospital. It simply does not have the capacity. The public health field discovered that the flu shot is very successful in preventing its spread and lessening its effects, and now it promotes that widely as an intervention. Communities have embraced and accepted ownership of the intervention, so you can now easily get the vaccine almost anywhere, including any clinic or even at your grocery store. Even more impactful than the flu shot, however, is an intervention that has been picked up by our culture, simply washing hands using antibacterial soap. Antibacterial soap is in restaurants, public spaces, and is most likely in your bathroom right now. These innovations has single this innovation has single-handedly done the most to prevent the flu. Supports to individuals with intellectual and or developmental disabilities and their families can be viewed using the same approach. While we know that the current state systems of services and supports simply are not set up to serve all families who need assistance, we can look to the disability community to fill the gap with support groups and networks like Informing Families that are geared toward providing information and opportunities to connect with other individuals and families through existing family and self-advocate networks. At the same time, we know that the most effective way to provide supports to individuals with intellectual and or developmental disabilities and their families is by offering them the same access to resources and supports that other families have. For example, in community, even though we don't usually think of going to a place of worship as a support or intervention, the idea of going to your faith community for support when you need it is commonly accepted by our culture. The next principle of supporting the three buckets of need is where Informing Families' mission and work can be seen the most on their website and through the work of our information coordinators who bring information into their local communities. The three buckets of need include the bucket of discovery and navigation, which are skills, information, and tools to navigate life. The second bucket is connecting and networking, which are self-confidence, strong mental health, and connections to family, friends, peers, and others. And the third bucket is goods and services, which include things you buy, use, or access in your day-to-day life. People need information and connections. The LifeCourse tools can help families see what they already have and what gaps exist, and the possibilities to fill those gaps. And this information is needed in every domain of life, which is defined by the Charting the LifeCourse framework as these 6 areas of life, seen here on the left: meaningful day and employment, community living, safety and security, healthy living, social and spirituality, and advocacy and engagement. And information and connection is needed at every stage of life, which is shown on the right side of this slide. And informingfamilies.org, we have laid out the front web page to offer navigation to resources of all stages and ages of the lifespan. Looking into another principle of the LifeCourse framework, you can see we focus on the person, and the person in the context of the family and also in the context of their community. The person is the individual with intellectual and or developmental disabilities. And you see the person within a family, whatever family means to them. Informing Families plays a strong supporting role for individuals and especially with family. The LifeCourse tool for mapping relationships is a phenomenal tool to understand who cares about your loved one and who would care for your loved one, especially in your absence. And understanding the reciprocal role your loved one plays in others' lives is also quite meaningful. My favorite principle and LifeCourse tool is the trajectory. It asks 2 very important questions. What do I want? And most importantly, what don't I want? Sometimes it's much easier to say what I don't want, so to figure out what I really do want. The LifeCourse framework offers these tools in various formats. In this example, the last column is filled out first, describing a vision of what the person wants and doesn't want. The first column is for recording current positive and negative experiences that are leading to or away from the vision of a good life. The center column is for current or future experiences that will help this person go towards their good life vision. Not all boxes have to be filled in. You can use these tools however best fits your needs. The LifeCourse tools are considered dynamic and fluid. Let's look at the integrated star. How can we use the integrated star to help a person go for their good life? A little review. The stars seen in the ideal model on the right represent the integrated services and supports. They are provided where the person wants to be to support them within their family and in their community. The STAR form is probably the most recognized Informing Families resource we have after the network folders. We have integrated STAR forms for getting started, like the one on the left, and an integrated STAR form for the transition times in life, like for high school to adulthood, as seen on the right, and several others. The link to these toolkits will be below. There is also a generic empty STAR form. All of these are available for download, or you may request printed copies through our contact form linked below. The STAR form has helped so many individuals and families see what they already have and if and when they need to rely on paid services. There are many hypothetical examples of STAR forms on the LifeCourseTools.com website. This one looks at respite support options and not only includes eligibility-based supports, but also the strengths of the person, technology they can use, relationships they can access, and community-based options, which are all provide many more options for this person's good life. This example can be found and downloaded on the LifeCourseTools.com website. Another version splits the integrated STAR into current skills and future needs in each support area for the goal listed in the middle. In this case, the goal is after-school support for teen son with autism so parent can return to work. It describes the teen's current strengths and abilities and what the teen may need to learn, what relationships may be able to help, what technology could be used to help the teen stay home alone, and what community programs are currently used and what other community programs may be possible for the teen. And in the last point of the STAR, the eligibility resources are explored. Using an integrated STAR with a daily schedule can provide useful information to designing a full and good day for a person. In this example, this calendar shows Ben's support services, which are only his parents and his waiver paid person. They are the only ones filling in Ben's day. By going through the integrated STAR and looking at each point on the STAR, they were able to integrate more of his relationships, technology, and community supports. Ben's calendar got much more varied and full. By seeing his strengths, Ben was able to be home alone briefly when he could use his technology to keep him busy. And he now has support to volunteer at the fire department. And he has more outings with friends and other family members. This example can be found on LifeCourseTools.com. Charting the Life Course framework provides many tools to support you or your loved one to have a full and good life. And when we use Life Course tools to see what is already available and what is needed, we can empower our loved one with integrated supports to have that good life. These are some of the tools on LifeCourseTools.com and seen throughout InformingFamilies.org. If you would like more information or help with creating and planning a good full life that is well supported, look through our website and feel free to contact us by the contact page linked below.